So thank you so much for doing this with me. I really, really appreciate it, and thank you for having me at your dojo. It was such a pleasure to take your class. And I'm just wondering, when you teach a class, what do you think about, and how do you plan your practice?
It all depends on the group, because actually evening classes are completely different than morning classes. Morning classes, because of the schedule of most of the people, they pretty random, so you never know who's gonna be here. So recently we have mostly advanced people training in the morning, so it's really, I like it because it's a small group, can be like 3 up to like 10 people. Most of them the teachers or black belts. So we can do really technical stuff, and it's a hobby, because we always had like so many classes that people in the morning usually they're sore or exhausted after yesterday. So there's this rule that we don't go break falls in the morning because it's too painful. But honestly, depending on the group, in the evening, this used to be huge dojo. So we used to have, I don't know, like 150 adults. So I was able to divide people into complete beginners, general classes, and an advanced class, which is my favorite, because those are people like almost like my family. I know them for 20, 30 years, and we can go really deeper and work on the details. And as in big dojo, I can work with a completely work on complete basics with complete beginners, and then we go leave more complex stuff with general classes, and then advanced people still working on the basic, of course, Kihon, but we have here like 40, 50 hakamas, so it's really strong group to enjoy very dynamic Aikido.
How many years has it been since you started Aikido, and why did you start?
I started in 1988, I guess, and I'm coming from the family which was really like sport oriented. So my father was professional soccer coach, and my mother used to do like a running. And so I think that was my natural form of expression to pretty much to be happy. So there are people who like choose the life reading the books, and some people they have to move, like discover, experience life through the touching or getting tired. So that would be me. And I was doing different stuff, but at the same time I was pretty sensitive and pretty much very religious when I was young. So I was looking for martial art, because I probably I guess so. I was looking for some kind of channel to explore violence of power inside of me, which was there, but I was like against everything what I was believing. So Aikido seems to be like a perfect solution. So the most peaceful martial arts which is existing. So I will have this moral dilemma when I hit someone or break someone's nose.
But then,
Now I don't have it.
but then you met Chiba Sensei.
Yeah,
What was it in him that stole your heart?
Honest. He was honest. That was the thing. He was honest. I was looking for explanation for that for many years. And I would say, and maybe it's not even true, that most of the people who were very close to him, they had some kind of daddy issue. And for sure I had one. So I was looking for someone who would be, in a way, similar to my father, in a constructive way, probably, and he was. And I think that the type of the people who are very close to him are people who are looking for true experience, no matter what. And yeah, that would be the thing, something real, and I will pay for that even with my broken arm, whatever, which never happened in my case, but the feeling, the atmosphere is like something like that.
How was it to study with Chiba Sensei? What do you remember?
You know, to know about that, you have to remember where I came from. So there's a very specific type of person, and I met many people like that. Someone who sees Aikido, he knows it's gonna be my way. And it's very simple, and you're super lucky if you're someone like that. And I was like that. I saw Aikido, I was like, oh, that's going to be my profession. That's going to be woman I love. That's going to be, I don't have to do anything else. And then what is left is just technical stuff, like who's going to teach me this? And then you have to learn that you have to be mature enough to be able to see your own mistakes. So I'm not doing Aikido to build my own ego. I have no idea why I'm doing this, but just I'm in love with this. And I have no problem to say, I have this and this problem and I don't know, I have to find someone to learn. And then I was looking for many, I was working with many teachers, and I never met someone strong and honest enough. And that would sound very strange and very it's really difficult to explain this other way than I never met someone who was more serious than I was. Even if there were very famous people, I was taking Aikido more serious. Maybe it's not mature at this point, but I was taking Aikido more serious than most of the people I ever met, and I was looking to learn from, except him. When I met him, I understood I'm a joke. But he saw in me and many of us this fire, and he respected, never took advantage of it. And that's my answer. I was looking for a way to be a professional teacher, and he was the one who was able to respect it, and he was much more serious than I was.
And how many years ago was it, and how has your Aikido evolved since then?
I started Aikido in mid-80s with many teachers in main Aikikai style. So we would just travel from seminar to seminar. So it was like a mixture, like a Frankenstein monster, like pieces from different teachers. And when I met Chiba Sensei, I had to be like 27, 28, something like that. And then I started just visiting seminars, and then he accepted me as a usideshi. And I've been to other places too. I was in France, and later with other Chiba Sensei students, like a senior teachers, as a usideshi. But main time I spent it with him. I was like from, I would say, 29 to 36, something like that. And at the same time, I was very successful here in Poland, which is a very unique place for a dojo. In 80s, 90s, it was super popular. So when I was traveling to be Chiba Sensei Usideshi, in my dojo would be like over 200 people, which is huge for the United States, if you imagine. So that would just give me support, financial support to travel. And so Chiba Sensei, at the same time, he accepted me as a student, but he knew I have obligations as a teacher. So after, I don't know how many years, like maybe 6-7 years of like intensive traveling there as a usideshi, as a student, we had this conversation where he just made me sit in front of him, and he said, like, you have to decide who you are. Are you playing child, or are you going to be, how long are you going to be student? Because you're not. You have your children you have to take care of. Yeah? And it took me some time to accept that, because being usideshi or student, it's super comfortable. Take responsibility. You just do what you love. You're just training. And then one day your teacher says, like, it's over. You know, it's right now. You have to be one of us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're 35, move out of the house, pretty much. Yeah. So it happened when I was like 35, something like that. I stopped, and he pushed me away. I think as most of the people like that, it's like, it's time for young people to go through this fire. You did it. And I went back and I started this place. And I'm super happy here.
You wrote about it in your book, right?
Yeah.
How was the process of writing the book and thinking about all those things that happened between you and Chiba Sensei, and maybe Chiba Sensei, and, you know, throughout your Aikido life?
There's so many dimensions. It's a very complicated question. It's like, why I did it was because I think I was going through some kind of experience trauma, and I didn't know what happened. It was really constructive, but the same was still trauma. And I have a friend of mine who is psychiatrist in the United States, and he read this book recently, and he wrote me he wrote me, how do you call this syndrome when the soldiers coming back from the war?
PTSD.
PTSD, and he said this is very typical PTSD which you experience in constructive way. So I think I was just like, those are so different worlds and lives as a Usideshi, because I was a young guy from Poland who suddenly started traveling all over the world, doing crazy stuff with the crazy people. I was super happy, but at the same time, like playing with being injured 5 hours a day, and incredible roller coaster. And then you're coming back, and then you're working hours and hours here, and then this experience hits you a second time, and you have to realize, make any sense of it, because I know it changed me in many ways. You know, I lost many friends. I've got friends all over the world, but at the same time I lost many friends, and you're changing the way you are physically and mentally. And I was trying to put it all together, and I started writing like a short essays. At the beginning they were understood just for me, and then someone read it and didn't understand the world, so I made it more
user-friendly.
Yeah, I made it, like, I had to put it in context, so I wrote more about myself, how I started. And then a few people here, they say, oh, I'm a medieval history teacher, that's my profession, and I know, I'm familiar with the process of writing, so it's not a big deal for me. That was the second dream, was to be a writer. And so this book is like manifestation, like I did two things I really like, so I put it all together. And the reception was great. I was really afraid that it's going to insult people, because I was just following like calling. I felt like I'm pretty much writing the Bible, you know, it just came out of me. So, and I felt relieved when I did it. Like there's a mission, that was something really super special, exceptional, I experienced, and I have to put it down because this is dying. Because even if I want to do this, I want to give Usideshi experience to other people, which I did. In this place there were like over 30 people from 20 countries. But I'm not Chiba. I never had experience with Sensei. I don't know this language, culture, context, Shinto, religious, everything. He has huge knowledge about the background of Aikido. And so whatever I give them probably will be real and honest, but it will be a completely different thing. It's going to be a mixture of Catholic, the communist raised culture mixed with the Japanese immigrant in the United States. So it's something very special what I'm giving them.
It's very personal to me, the book, basically communism and growing up in Poland here, and we are a similar age so I saw myself in it.
Yeah, because your experience in a way it's pretty much similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you change the name of the Shihan and you have it, you know. You also can see the fact that we are just echo, you know, and whatever we do on the mat is going to be a mixture of us and our heritage, which is very similar,
right,
and completely different person,
right,
who both of them learn from the same guy,
right.
So it's really, actually, I never thought about that. That's really interesting.
I think so too.
Yeah.
When you teach a class right now and you look at people, what kind of teacher are you right now? What do you pay attention to? What is important to you when you teach a class? I'm asking because a lot of young teachers they are lost. There is no guidebook how to become a teacher. What would you advise teachers who are just starting out?
Whatever I say, there are some stages you have to go through, so they will not listen anyway, I believe. So first thing is, there's a rule, I really believe, is someone wants to teach, he will teach, and if someone doesn't want to teach, you will not force this person. And someone who really want to, even if he's not ready and it's going to be destructive for the community, you can't stop it. So this is the first thing. If you're thinking like, oh, maybe I will be a teacher or not, you probably will never be a teacher. This is what I believe. If someone wants, it will do it. There are no dilemmas like that. Then there are some stages which are, I believe, necessary, depending on the type of personality. But the young people, they need this stage that they feel the best. Like they look at the older people and say, I'm not going to be like that. I'm stronger. But this is necessary. You have to go through it. It's like fever. You have to go through it. But I believe one of the big crises in Aikido general is the fact that the teachers are getting older and people are trying to be like them. And they used to be young and dynamic and strong. So in a place like here, I'm where there are a number of generations training. For me, I believe a main teacher, head instructor, is like a gardener. I look at the dojo and I'm thinking like, oh, this guy is very important for the dojo, and he's like a big oak in the middle of the garden. It's beautiful to look at this, but there are no fruits, and there's shadow everywhere, and nobody grows up. So sometimes you have to get rid of it. Ask someone to open the dojo and leave so that other people can grow. And also, we have to respect the stages. Like, there's this beautiful metaphor about a student or later teacher who is like a sword. So at the beginning you have to forge it, bend it, forge it, bend it, then you have to polish it. And then the sword has to cut. So do the beautiful technique. But if you have a new one, you shouldn't start from doing beautiful techniques. You have to forge it first. And then, when you also, if you're older, you don't have to forge it anymore. So there are stages. The young people, they're like up to 5 years of training, they should have like physical, demanding, very strong training, which will change their attitude, physically, body, definition of the pain, discomfort, whatever, you build it, and then they're ready to do on the level of Shodan Nidan, to do like really solid Aikido. To do the same what they did in conditioning with push-ups or whatever, by Aikido. And then when you're Yondan, you can do something incredible. But if you force people who are beginners to do, then you have this thing, like we're talking about young people who are trying to be like Sensei. Everything has an age, and everything has a time. So I believe it's really important. So if you ask me what I'm doing when I'm teaching, there are so many people here, and I'm coming, I look at the group and I'm thinking, okay, in a perfect world, people would be like Shodan and Nidans and up, and beginners, or people who are doing like third Q stuff. But usually people are mixed, so we're trying to make it constructive for everybody.
And you mentioned the beauty in Aikido, and I'm just thinking, some people say beautiful technique, some people like, I don't know, harmony, some people like force or strength, or the exactness of the technique. What is important to you in Aikido? When you teach, what do you pay attention to? What do you like in Aikido, and what is the most important component of every movement that you find important?
On a technical level, all the things you said are important, but there should be some. This is martial art. This is one of the things Chiba Sensei was really serious about. This is still martial arts. So the beauty comes at the end. you can't start with the aesthetic beautiful thing. First of all, you have to survive as a tori. So attack is something you not discuss with. Shaman is shaman. You have to go out of the line. If you're good enough, the beauty will be born. But it's really important. It's really super easy to drift away from this, just to be attracted by beauty of the moment. So at the end of the day, we have people who are just dancing, pretending something, but it's enough to push it and everything collapses. And this is one of the main critics of Aikido. And what I brought from training with Sensei was that the definition of harmony, according to him, was he really wants to kill you. Really wants to kill you. And you're going out of the line and you don't let him, and nothing serious happened to him. And this is harmony. So he doesn't have to compromise his attack, and I don't have to compromise my technique. He doesn't compromise his attack, so he knows I will be okay. And I don't have to compromise throwing, because I know his ukemi is good enough. And then it's beauty, something real happened. He really attacked me, and then I did really technique. If he's not trained by as a uke, I would probably hurt him. And this is my definition of beauty, and this is what we're going through. It's like people clashing against each other in a simple form. Nothing happened, but both of them, they really were able to touch something real. And we're still going back to this experience and mixture of experiences between Zazen and meditation, and looking for your real you, I guess. And for me, it was the most constructive thing. There's this German philosopher, Eckhart Tolle, who said that in a life, the most important thing is to die before you die, experience death before you die. Then you realize it doesn't really matter. It's really beautiful, and that's something. If I have to define Chiba Sensei message to the people, at least to me, it was something like that. Yeah, don't go on the surface. Go deeper. There is something really, really serious.
Right now, you have teachers like Savoka Sensei and Flower Sensei, right? You meet, you talk about Aikido, try to. You are basically carrying that message from Chiba Sensei. How's that going?
Well, first of all, those are people who started their journey with Sensei like 10 years before me. So I consider them as a senior. So, I have a great respect. We're the same age, and our paths are very similar, and we're friends, I would say. I would say more like a family now. It works. It's really great to have. You have to remember that this is nowadays to have a full-time dojo. It's a huge challenge. You cannot understand the rent, and work is completely different. Even before pandemia, we had like usideshi non-stop for 5 years. There were people just changing. In the best time, there were like 4 people living inside here. Since pandemic, pretty much nobody. World is changing, and less and less people. We have to compromise the message just to get people in, and to have this feeling that there are other places like that, and they're struggling, and we're going the same path. We have the same mission. It's incredible help. And our students, when they in this group, they meeting another group. There's a magic that people are just friends right now. We're traveling, meeting each other. We organized this summer camp, incredible place, because I'm working with the Grotowski Institute for like over 20 years, and they let us have the forest based in the middle of the like old forest with our own lake, and we're living there like in a monastery for a couple of days. Amazing experience. So I think we're pushing each other, we're helping each other. Also, the difference between the message all of us, we have, not only 3 of us, but so many Chiba Sensei students all over the world. There's no way to invite everybody, but there are so many names. He was teaching so many years. And it's just so important, like today we have 10 years anniversary of his death. Yeah. So it's a day of remembering him.
Would you like to say anything about him? Anything that you remember? Anything that comes to mind, especially on this day?
So first thing I have in my mind when I have these questions is like the fact that he was one of the most important persons in my life. It doesn't mean I was for him. So there are many of us. So I'm fascinated with this strength that there is someone with so strong personality that it can change so many lives. And it's amazing. It's really inspiring. And there's no way to fake it. You have it or not. So this is another thing for young people is just don't pretend to be someone. Because you can't fake it. Or maybe twice a week you can pretend someone. But sooner or later, people will figure out. Yeah. So you have to be yourself. And you are who you are. There's no way. Yeah, there's so many masks and faces and types of people and teachers. Yeah. Chiba Sensei would say, I guess, to be a teacher, first you have to find the teacher. And he said that a amount of energy and time you have to spend to find the teacher is much bigger than time to learn. Yeah, so you have to find someone who you have to who you really can trust, and it's very natural, I guess, in our life. Yeah.
Right now, at this point in your life and Aikido practice, what does Aikido do for you? How do you see it?
For me, I don't know. It's kind of ritual, and it's really difficult because I spent like 30 years really doing this like all day long, all over the world. And so it's melted with my life. It's like, if you say what Aikido does for my life, it's really difficult for me because this is my life. For last year, I was literally living in a dojo. I was living in dojo, so everything melted together. And in a way, right now, I'm like 34 this year, 34, maybe mentally, 54. And you see, subconsciously. I guess right now I'm just looking for a way to kind of separate from dojo. Because I understood there's a really interesting process, which is very visible when you teach children. What are you actually doing? Except, like, beside of the fact that you're teaching them techniques, if you're lucky enough. But most of the kids, they playing with you like with the parents. So when you have teenager teacher who is teaching kids class, they treat you like older brother or sister. And the dynamic is like that. And then when you reach the age of the parents, you are like alternative parent for them. And I guess that right now I'm like a good grandpa for the children. And it's changing, dynamic is changing for the children. But I think in a dojo, many people go through the process of idolizing the teacher, or this is big part of my work is what they actually look at you, what they see when they look at you, what they actually want from you. What is the game actually? Why this woman when I'm doing Ikkyo is crying? And it's nothing to do with you. Maybe she's just reviving something with the father right now. And I'm like a stand for this game. I have nothing to do with this. It's really interesting and very complicated. You have a group of people, but everybody goes through something completely different. And like good teachers, they used to say, like, don't play psychology, just do your job. And the process happens in each of them. Don't take advantage of them and just do your job. Yeah, but it's really interesting. So right now, I'm aware, much more aware of this complexity of this process. So I have this feeling that I step back and let them go through this process without interfering inside. I used to go like deep, asking what's your problem, blah, 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 trying to solve everybody's problems, which is impossible. Yeah, and creates a lot of problems. So right now, and the beauty of this process is that, you know, people come and go. So wherever you do, even if you define it as a mistake, tomorrow there will be a new person who is coming. You can do it better.
Let me ask you just lastly, you know, Chiba Sensei, I come from a different school, and in our school or anywhere else, he was famous for being violent and sometimes brutal, and we, like I am, for example, when I think about him, I feel amazing respect, but also I would fear him. How did you choose a teacher like this, and how did you deal with the fear and the brutality sometimes?
Again, very complex question. And
what did it teach you? Like, what did it give you?
I think the question is, it's not about him. The question is about his students. What kind of people he attracts. You have to remember that both you and my teacher, they came from the same person. So they get pretty much the same message. What this message did to them, that, I don't know Yamada Sensei very well, but he created incredible community.
Right.
Family-like community, yeah?
Right.
Yeah. Chiba Sensei, I would say, like a bunch of warriors getting ready for war. So the same message coming from a sensei resonate and fixed or whatever different things. Maybe lack of something, because you know, they as we are trying to fix something doing martial arts, there as a young Chiba or young Yamada, they wanted to fix something too. And having the same message from Chiba Sensei, you have many dojos, and someone can have dojo like a monastery, clean 5 times a day and very strict rules. Someone can have like an artificial second family for everybody, with the big parties and constructive way and having family. For many years, I had a bunch of wolves trying to kill each other. So each of us find something else with sensei. You know, for someone that would be family, for someone that would be like a ritual and order. Discipline and order. And in order and discipline, if you didn't have it as a child or you had too much,
Structure, right?
Yeah, there's a structure, feeling safe, for someone else. And for me, because I'm thinking about that for the last 20 years, I think it was because of our background and my personal experience, that would be finding the constructive aspect of violence around you. We all coming back from our childhood, and if you pretty much healthy, happy person with no problems, you're not going to go to psychopath to fix things because it scares you.
Right.
But maybe I was scared all my childhood, and I want to be scared and do it very well. I want someone to give any sense of it. Yeah. It looks like a horror, but maybe people around him, it's my favorite horror. It's my childhood horror. I would say, in my case, I had defined stress as a comfort zone. And many people also. When among the usideshis from all over the world, we were talking about the childhood, usually father was someone more scared than Chiba Sensei. And but again, legends about Chiba Sensei are different than the true. Most of the injuries we did to ourselves, and also the bond and community which creates this kind of atmosphere is amazing, unique, and for lifetime. Yeah.
What do you think Chiba Sensei would tell you right now? And looking back, and what do you think he's up there thinking, looking down at you?
I don't think he's looking at me, but it's a big question what we're doing and how much it evolves. I remember this conversation with Chiba Sensei when he was criticizing me and another guy. We were like over 40 at this time, and we're doing just stupid things. And Chiba Sensei said, you have to be more serious because you're third in a row. First was Sensei, then me, and then you. And I just laughed because there were so many, teachers before us, like very experienced, so many styles of Aikido, so many Shihans all over the world. I'm not third, I'm like 2,700. Like, you look at me, no. The message is, Sensei told me something and I'm telling you, this is number 3. With this comes responsibility. And then it struck me. I understood he's right. It doesn't matter. It's like Agnieszka or any of those people who are learning, they're number 4. You're number 4. You're number 3, actually. You're number 3. Yes, because you learn from Yamada Sensei learned from him, from Sensei. So with this comes responsibility. I guess he would be happy as long as it's honest, because we mixing everything together. There's no way, if you're doing something in an honest way, you're going to mix it with your heritage. So what I'm bringing to the table is like Christianity, my moral code, my childhood, any trauma I have, and everything what Chiba Sensei brought, and we mix it. It's gonna be real, but it's absolutely probably not much to do with our Sensei's message. So I don't know. I'll just look up and say, like, I'm doing my job, I'm trying. Sorry. That's all I can do.
Is there anything else you would like to say that I didn't think to ask? Anything at all?
I don't know, I'm just trying to, is this message that every day you should be living better than yesterday. I would say like more aware, maybe, not the better, because it's ups and downs. And that's one of the, for many, many years, I was thinking, like, beside the fact that I'm teaching, my job is to find people like I used to be. So I used to be this young kid who wanted to do it like professionally. It was a shame that I'm not ready. So then I met Chiba Sensei and he encouraged me to do it. He just made sure he made me sure that I'm able, and there's nothing to be ashamed of, and it doesn't matter which culture you're coming from. So for many years I was thinking that that's my job, to find people like that, to encourage them too. And it's going to be 1 for 10,000 or whatever, 1 for a million. But that people run looking for that. So this is the only thing I can say is it's worth, and go for it. It's not going to be easy, but it's possible. It's not just like a movie cliche, Yeah, it's possible, but you're going to pay for that with all your life, with your body, with injury, with everything, but it's really worth. That's it. I'm sitting here in an old National Railway Company building which is about to collapse. I own nothing, and I train like 5 hours a day, and my body is destroyed, but I'm really happy. I don't have to work for anybody in a corporation. I don't care if I have a home with a pool. But I've met incredible people, and in Aikido world you can I trained many martial arts, but I never saw so interesting people in other martial arts than in Aikido, really.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
I
being
really
here,
appreciate
and I
it.
wish you all the best on the mat,
Thank you.
and all the best for New York Aikikai.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.